Hello and welcome to the fifth and final match of the Assembly Summer 2011 Invitational Grand Finals between MTW Damaga, spawning as the Red Zerg, and his opponent spawning as the Green Protoss, Mao's Mana. This is now down to the final game here. Mana was ahead by 2 games at the beginning of the series, but Damaga, staying calm and cool, took 2 games off of him in the next couple of matches, and now we're down to this last little bit on GSL Crevasse is going to be our map. It's an interesting little map, a fairly small map relative to maps such as Tel'Darim Altar, but about the size of, I don't know, Shakura's Plateau, something like that. And the interesting feature of this map is this really safe, extremely safe mini expansion. It's only got 6 mineral patches and 1 Vespian Geyser, compared to this really unsafe natural expansion. So we can expect to see both players probably go directly for this expansion to get that extra income before they move out and try to take control of their natural. And Mana is going once again with the build that he knows works, that he's comfortable with. He's going to be probably throwing down a Forge first or maybe a Nexus first. Either way, we'll see what happens. And he's sending out his initial probe to scout around. He wants to know where Damaga is, what he's doing, what he's up to, when he expands, when he scouts, and dropping down this Forge and even sending out his second probe. So he's sacrificing quite a bit of economy early on in order to gain as much information as he possibly can. And he's going to find Damaga pretty much right away. He's got this other probe going in the wrong direction. Hopefully this one will turn around as soon as this guy finds what he's looking for, and Damaga taking his natural before spawning pool, before gas. So he's going for a nice macro style build. And now here comes the spawning pool, and Mana's going to see the spawning pool just going down. He can probably assume that there is an expansion going down, and Damaga still is in the dark about where exactly he's spawned. He knows that it's not up here, so he's sending this drone out, and Mana's going to see this spawning pool going down, and we'll see, is he gonna place down a, no, he looks like he was thinking about placing down a proxy pylon, but instead is just going to fall back on this probe. Not sure why he didn't want to. I guess he decided that early aggression would not be the way to go. And still no gas for Damaga. He's decided to go with Zerglings and Queens and drones for his defense, and now we have a drone, speaking of which, slipping into the base for slipping into Mana's base for Damaga, and here comes Mana's Nexus going down. He is significantly behind Damaga's hatchery, but if he plays his cards right, with Chrono Boosts for creating probes at a 50% increased speed, he won't fall too far behind in his economy. But Damaga is definitely just doing a great job keeping this drone alive. The longer he keeps this guy alive, the more information he'll know, and the more he will conceivably delay Mana's tech, because Mana's not going to want to place down what he is going for in tech while this drone is going around warning Damaga of everything he's doing. Damaga in the meantime is setting up his 1 gas and his little expansion. He's going to be probably getting Zergling speed very soon, and his Queen is nearly finished at both expansions, so he's going to be macroing up as quickly as possible, getting those injects going, getting more overlords coming out, getting a lot more drones. He's going to want to play that macro style that has been serving him so well in the past couple of games, allowed him to shift momentum basically from Mana's side completely back over to his own. It's now an even fight, and we see some probes going after this drone. The Cybernetics core is almost finished. 20 more game seconds. Once that Cybernetics core is done, Mana's going to want to place down his tech, but he won't want to do it with that drone going around spying everywhere, so he is pulling off probes, doing a lot of damage. The drone, unfortunately for him, regenerates hit points at a regular speed, so he's already negated 1 probe attack. Oh, there it comes back again. And we have this cannon down, the Zealot blocking, and Chrono boosting a sentry out, probably to deal with this pesky drone. And no doubt that Mana would love to be placing down some kind of tech, but he is instead spending it on probes, which is a good thing to be sure, but he wants to get his tech up and out as quickly as possible. This drone is still alive and is finally going to go down to this sentry's disruption beam. And during all this time, Damaga realizes that there's no tech to speak of, and it must have just started, so he's deciding to take a 3rd base. Excellent play, similar to his play last game, about the 6-minute mark to take his 3rd. He has still not gone into lair tech. Zergling speed is almost finished, and he's just been droning up like a madman. His overlord's placed here and here, so he could float in and see exactly what's going on at any time he wanted to, and Mana going once again, tired and true with the Stargates. He's going to want to get an early air advantage. He's going to see if he can disrupt the Zerg economy, kill some queens, kill some drones, maybe even kill some creep tumors as they build. And we got a Zergling that almost ran in, almost got by, but no, a little bit too quick on the zealots and sentries, and even this cannon would have nearly killed a Zergling on the way in. So we have Damaga moving into Lair Tech now, setting up his Roach Warren, very standard, even setting up an evolution chamber on the edge here of his expansion. Slightly unsafe, I would say it's kind of susceptible to Void Rays, but it could serve as an early warning system because the running distance for Queens is very short. Queens go from here to here and just get in there and take down any Void Ray. We've got Creep Spread going just fine. These 3 Creep Tumors are going to be monumental in this game, getting that Creep Spread up and around. In fact, the more creep tumors you have adjacent to each other, the faster the creep spreads around. So if you can plant 5 or 6 in a similar spot, they will spread very, very, very quickly instead of waiting for a single one to spread all over the place. Now we still have Mana just macroing up. He's going to be chrono boosting. He's already got a Void Ray out. He's got a Phoenix on the way, and has revealed to Damaga his Void Ray, but Damaga is not going to be getting supply capped here. In fact, oh, never mind, I misspoke. He actually will be getting supply capped because of all these roaches he just produced, but he'll have a couple Overlords on the way to get himself out of that mess. And Spore Crawler's going down immediately at each of his, nope, only at 2 of his bases. 1 at the expansion, 2 at his 3rd, and he's got Queens hanging out all over the place, so he should be okay against that single Void Ray and single Phoenix. And we have Ground Weapons level 1 and Glail Reconstitution, along with melee attack level 1 for the Zerg. And the Protoss' mana is just going in the same direction he has been going for almost every single game. Creep Tumor going down, these rocks have been destroyed. Damaga wants as many paths over to Mana's base as he possibly can, and this is interesting. Damaga has chosen, instead of falling back to the defense of his spines and his spores and his queens, he's just going to push ahead, let the Void Ray deal as much damage as it will, and now Roach Speed is going to allow these roaches to get away from the Void Ray. He's going to go over and put some pressure onto Mana's expansion. He's expanding for the 3rd time into his natural base, and he's going to go in there and see what he can do to deal some damage to all this, and we'll see what happens. Mana's got a decent force of sentries, stalkers, and zealots. Decent force fields, forcing the roaches to run all the way around, but oh, that little gap allowed tons of Zerglings in, surrounding all these sentries and stalkers, and the Zerglings are just going to town, going to work, destroying all of these. Even this cannon cannot keep up. It is shooting everywhere, trying to catch all of these Zerglings, and now there's a lot of roaches. Mana forced to fall back to this choke point at his main ramp. And this Void Ray has been racking up the kills, doing a lot of damage to these armored roaches. The Stalkers are eventually going to take down everything, but I have to say that that aggression was brilliant by Damaga. It allowed him to continue to drone up and also move into pathogen glands for infestors while not getting harassed by Void Rays and Phoenixes. He can just continue to macro as he liked. He lost his army, but by the time Mana would have been able to counterattack, he would have been able to re-macro, and he also has control of this Xel'Naga Watchtower, giving him essentially full view of anything that Mana will do. If he moves out to this ramp, Damaga will know about it by having a Zergling on this tower. These towers, hugely influential in a game, on a map like this, and I'm surprised that Mana has not checked that tower with his Void Ray and destroyed that Zergling. Now we have even a 4th base coming down from Damaga. He is going with that same style that served him on Shakura's Plateau. He's trying to out-macro his opponent 2-to-1. He doesn't want to be 1 base up. He wants to be 2 bases up. He wants to have 2 times the economy, 2 times the production. He wants to completely overwhelm him, and he's already stockpiling quite a few minerals and Vespene gas, spending them all the gas is being spent on infestors and a little bit on upgrades, and we're going to see another hatchery coming down. This is incredible, just so many hatcheries for Damaga. While Mana is doing he's macroing up, he's getting a decent army going down. He's got his Immortals out with ground attack level 1, going to do a ton of damage to any roaches and Immortals that wander into range. Stalkers and sentries and cannons are going to be holding this section off, and he also has Thermal Lance being researched for his Colossus. So as the Colossus come out, he'll be able to hit them from 9 range away, and now Mana is finally seeing this Zergling. The Zergling's really fast, running away, kind of skipping away over. He's going to get into a skirmish with this probe. Normally the Zergling would have no problem, but the probe attacking that weakened Zergling, almost losing its own life. The Void Ray came over with the Phoenix and just zapped it out of existence. But we got creeping spread by Damaga almost halfway across the map, and the supply differences about the same. Oh, never mind. I take that back. Damaga is shot way ahead. He is closing in on maxing out. He'll be able to go into Hive Tech, and he's got his Spire coming up. And before too long, once these 5 bases all kick in, Damaga is just going to be overproducing as many units as he possibly can. Maxing out, attacking, maxing out again. And in the meantime, we have a bit of a proxy pylon going down over here. Mana is not directly aware of this base, but he sees all the creep. He's thinking that there might be a base going down here. But Damaga smartly is moving his queens into position to deal with any pressure, and he saw with his Zergling on this tower that there is a pylon up here. Damaga just playing macro-style Zerg, infesting the entire map, doing his best to spread creep everywhere, and there are so many Zerglings and Infestors here, I'm not sure what is going to happen, but there are not an inconsequential number of Colossus for mana. A Colossus in the right choke point can do so much damage to Zerglings, pretty much can hold its own against an enormous horde. Look at this positioning behind both the minerals and stalkers and sentry and immortal, and these pylons and these probes are in the way. This Colossus, if it came to an engagement, is going to be an MVP, and now we have Infestors almost full of energy. No Neuroparasite, but they're going to be using them all for fungal growth and infested Terran. And here comes the engagement. Tons of Zerglings getting trapped by these infested Terran eggs and this force field. This Colossus doing a ton of damage on the left side, but on the right side, Zerglings slipping past the force fields. Fungal growths on the Stalkers and the Immortals doing tons of damage. This Colossus getting really, really beat up. Lots of Zerglings and Roaches takes down this Colossus, but this one over here is simply an MVP. Look at Executor, 41 kills. Utterly demolishing. That is a Zerg Destroyer, a Zergling Crusher, Zergling Burner, and look at all that mess from that battle. But I would have to say Damaga is very close to getting maxed out again. He has 40 Zerglings on the way, 5 Corruptors, more Corruptors than that, another 3 Corruptors, more Zerglings, Infestors coming out, Greater Spires on the way. His creep spread is almost getting to the point where he's going to be knocking on Mana's door. And Mana is over here. He has no choice but to put a probe. He can't even take over this Xel'Naga watchtower. He's going to see for a split second that there is an enormous Zerg army sitting on his doorstep. He is doing his best to get out more Colossus, chrono boosting this robotics facility, getting level 2 ground upgrade coming in. He has a couple of Zealots, a number of Stalkers, but unfortunately no sentries. They were all lost in that last engagement. So without any force fields to kind of move the Zerg units and to pin them down in the place that he wants, I'm not sure how this is going to go for him. We will see what happens. High Templar warping in, Corruptors taking a forward position, and we have Damaga just sitting, hanging out on the edge. He's fully maxed out. The Infestors are coming in, laying down infested swarm eggs. We get the Colossus doing damage from the back. Great feedbacks coming in from those High Templar, morphing directly into Archon, but there are so many Zerglings, so much fungal growth going down, but no sentries. Look at all these swarm eggs going to hatch. 51, 53 kills on that Colossus before it goes down, but I am not sure what Mana's going to do. Look at all these infested Terrans, all of these Zerglings, lots of Corruptors. The Greater Spire is finished. If he wished to build them into Broodlords, he could. The Infestors have decided to fall back and conserve themselves. They're mostly out of energy, and look at all these infested Terrans nearing the end of their lives, and they are going to kill themselves, but they have done their job. Done so much damage to both this mineral line, all of these probes having to hide inside this assimilator, but these Zealots are finally going to push away this attack, but I'm not sure what Mana is going to do. Damaga is already maxed out again. He has Broodlords, 7 of them morphing in, more Corruptors. He has a single, he has an Archon coming in. He has 1 Archon, 9 Zealots, a Void Ray, and 2 High Templar for defense. I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do against this relentless Zerg swarm from Damaga. Damaga taking down another base as he prepares to attack. And here come the Broodlords. There are no Borderers, no Phoenixes to deal with this. Here come the Infestors. Fungal growth going to be going down. Infested swarm eggs, and it looks like Mana calls the GG. Well played, and Damaga is the champion of the Assembly Summer 2011 Invitational. He takes home the prize, he takes home the pride, he takes home the title. Amazing games, awesome competitors. Both of these players are simply incredible. Good game.